Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. Great article here from Investopedia. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys may check it out. So I just wanted to recap So I was also able to listen in on the AT&T earnings call. So I wanted to recap AT&T's earnings in this video. From the earnings call, it was about an hour and 4 minutes. Didn't really learn anything else or anything new that we didn't already know publicly. They had a very lengthy analyst day at the beginning of December, so they didn't really disclose anything else that they already talked about at the analyst day. So they had a great quarter, right? So you can see it here in the title: AT&T stock surges as Q4 profits soar. They had a great quarter. I have to give them that, right? There might be some nitpicking here and there. There's some stuff that you can break down, like I said in the video this morning. Comparatively speaking to Verizon did post a bigger revenue. You look at Verizon, they're almost at 36. AT&T came in at 32. But then I thought about it, and you can kind of go back and forth on that. You can say you could make the argument that AT&T's revenue is quite impressive because they don't have as many postpaid customers as Verizon. You can make that argument. AT&T's third in the postpaid. So you might even say that AT&T's revenue is quite impressive. What would AT&T's revenue look like if they had the same amount of postpaid customers as Verizon, right? You can make the argument. So coming in at $32 billion, and I think a lot of that is coming from fiber. Fiber's ARPU is $71. That's the average price per user. That is an impressive number. That is music to investors and shareholders' ears. And they added 300. I don't remember the exact number. I don't know if it was 307 or 304,000. It may have been 304,000 fiber customers. I don't know if it's listed in this article. So 307,000 fiber customers. That is the 20 consecutive quarter above 200,000. And they added 482,000 ads for the quarter. So that it's an impressive quarter for AT&T. But then, like I said, there's some nitpicking here and there that some people might say the fiber penetration is not really that impressive versus the homes passed. Some people might tell you, they're in third place and they really can't grow at the levels of T-Mobile on the postpaid side. That's the carrier that they're trying to catch that's in second place. I mean, like I said, you can nitpick, you can go back and forth on that. You could also make the argument again, T-Mobile is still doing free lines. They're still doing 20% off or pushing that to the market. So they're still trying to discount the rate plans to grow to those numbers, right? AT&T coming in at, 482,000. They don't really do much of discounting the rate plan. They have some 20% off here and there for the bundling with fiber. They do military discounts. They have some corporate discounts, but they don't really discount their rate plans. So if you break it down, right, if you look at the free lines and how many free lines T-Mobile accumulates every quarter, you can make the argument AT&T is sitting nice at 482,000, right? Even with the discounts, AT&T is still getting something for those lines. T-Mobile is straight up giving you a third line for free. So T-Mobile has to grow at the numbers that they're growing to make up for the free lines. They have to grow 800, 900,000 a quarter so it can offset the free lines that they're putting out. So it's a great quarter for AT&T, right? I don't have much to really speak on in a negative way, right? Like I said, we can compare, but then you can really only compare AT&T to Verizon because they are structurally the same, right? If you look at the business, they have fiber, wireline. So you really, right, if you talk about it briefly, right, you look at benchmark competitors, you really can't compare T-Mobile comparatively because they don't run and operate the same way. They don't have wireline, so you really can't compare them all in that same manner. You can talk about them from a network, hey, networks to networks, right? You can compare them like that. But when T-Mobile reports on Wednesday and they post a $20 or $21 billion of revenue, I mean, they're billions behind Verizon and AT&T, and they would have a hard time catching that footprint of wireline that's allowing Verizon and AT&T to post that type of revenue. So margins are everything in this industry. And the networks are going to get more and more expensive to operate. We're talking about billions of dollars of investments in the future of spectrum that's coming up, right? Time's flying by. 6G is going to be here. They're going to have to invest. T-Mobile's going to have to invest as well into spectrum. So debt is important, right? You have to pay down your debt. AT&T is now at 120 billion from what I saw. I don't remember Verizon's, but if you, like I said, if you look at the businesses, they're structured differently. They have different costs. T-Mobile for sure doesn't carry as much cost as Verizon and AT&T. They don't run wireline. They don't have global business. They don't have nearly the amount of enterprise to handle, and it shows in the numbers. That's why T-Mobile's debt is almost half of what the competition carries. So, of course, T-Mobile is going to grow into that eventually, right? They're buying fiber. They might do the cable thing. But for now, AT&T is going to be far more mature, far more at bigger scale. And same with Verizon. They're going to be more mature. They're going to be at a bigger scale. So there isn't really much T-Mobile can do about that, right? They're just going to have to do like they did in fiber. They're going to have to be patient. I mean, in wireless, they're going to have to be patient, and they're going to have to grow into it. Right. In wireless, they were patient. They kept investing. They kept buying. They kept doing M&A. And now here they are at this size. And T-Mobile's going to have to take that same approach into the wireline and into the convergence. And that could be part of why they got this new CEO on board that's familiar and that's his expertise. Again, I'm speculating, but that could be what they got him for. So AT&T, a great quarter, right? They didn't talk about much else. I think they talk about shutting down the legacy copper a bit sooner. It sounds like they have the FCC on board with that, so they can modernize. They'd be willing to invest more if they got tax breaks and tax cuts, which is under the Trump administration a very strong possibility. And they did say that additional investment, if it's $1 billion more, whatever it is, will go into accelerating fiber. They are big on fiber. They like that fiber. They like the ARPU. It's just a big investment for the company. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. They didn't talk much about network to close out the video. They came in at the 275 million pops that they announced at the Analyst Day. So not much on the network. They don't really discuss it much on these calls. And then, it's only Stanky and Pascal that get on the calls. And then these analysts and investors, they don't really ask any questions really about the network. So it's just an afterthought, right? It's there. They invest in it. They talk about it in a way of modernizing O-RAN, 14 billion, right? Going into the Ericsson deal, but we don't really get any specifics like, oh, we got thousands of small cells. We're scaling, we're doing this. We don't really get specifics. And I think as it's getting more and more competitive in the industry, I think they're doing that for competitive reasons, right? They don't want to reveal everything. Same with T-Mobile, same with Verizon. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. See you in the next one. Peace.